All right, I wanted you to see my old self. This was done, I think, in 2000 and let me see, I can look at that. 2011. I had some folks here. I don't even know what this data was about. I didn't label the file in any way. There's this thing here means change in fat-free mass. But other than that, I really couldn't tell you what this was all about at all. I have no idea. There's some data in here, and then I've done some calculations. I'd have to go back. This is an average. This is standard deviation. So there's some indication what this data, what I'm doing here, but not really. And so the next section that you're going to have here, the next prompt, is going to teach you those good habits. This was done by me a long time ago. I don't do this anymore. I'm very careful how I label things and how I code things because I've realized that I can't find those files. I corrupt those files. I've done things to them. So the data itself is not the original data that I had, and I've somehow altered the files, but I have no idea what I was doing. So you don't want to do that. So that's why in the next prompt, which is to calculate the average, they tell you in B21, so B21's over here, B21 right here, to type the word average. I would go one step further and tell you that to bold it so that you know that you're doing some kind of calculation here. I would actually bold all the headers, to be honest with you, because then you know. Now, Colonel Nelson and Major Buckingham have done some work for you here by making this nice looking table. I actually wouldn't have done that for you because I would have made you do this yourself, make this all nice yourself. But you might ask yourself, well, I just need the answer. Why don't I just go to the answer? Well, because one day you might actually want to go back and look at the file, and you don't suddenly become someone who has good habits when you absolutely need to. You do whatever you do all the time the way you do it. So my recommendation to you is to actually do what they're telling you to do and start that good habit now, and don't be like me. In C21, they want you to enter, so C is this column right here, average. So here you put equals average as they've given you in the prompt. This, and what you're calculating, you should get the feel of this now, what's going on. You want to calculate the average from C11 down to C20. So I'm going to go C11 down to C20, just like I did with the sum, except now it's, notice that it's highlighting this region that I'm calculating the average of. So it's calculating the average over this number of this data that I'm looking at. So exactly this data. So if I close that loop and hit enter, I'm going to get 20. So the average number of metals that were gold was 20 by the total number of countries. And then if I want to do it for all the countries, I'll do this. And let's just see what they want you to do in the prompt. Prompt is gone. But it's no sweat. Like, I could look at the average number of total metals as well by all countries. So what this is telling you is the average number of metals by country is 20. It doesn't mean that all countries got 20 metals. It just, that's the average. And some got below and some got above, and so forth. And the average number of metals per country, total metals per country, was 58.3. Okay, let's get the next prompt then.